Do you often find yourself awake at night or lost during the day, wondering if this person is truly the right one for you? It might just be a fleeting thought, the kind that sneaks up on you when the excitement fades, or during those quiet moments when you're left alone with your feelings. You try to push it away because, well, every relationship has its challenges, right? But deep down, you know there's something more to it. When that doubt becomes more than just a passing thought, it's worth asking why it's there in the first place. Love can be complicated, messy, raw, and vulnerable, but it shouldn't feel like a constant struggle with yourself. There's a difference between working through normal relationship challenges and forcing yourself to fit into something that doesn't align with who you are. And yet, many of us cling to relationships that don't quite feel right, not because we're happy, but because we're afraid of the alternative. Let's get real for a moment. Recognizing the signs that you're with the wrong person isn't easy. It takes courage to honestly look at your relationship and ask the hard questions. But when you do, you take back your power. You start to value your peace, your goals, and your growth. In this video, we'll discuss the signs you may often ignore or cover up with excuses. This will help you gain clarity and confidence in understanding the truth about your relationship. Before we dive in, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more insightful videos like this. Let's get started. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing, it might be time to ask yourself, is it really love, or is it fear? Emotional safety is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, love quickly turns into a game of survival. You find yourself second-guessing every word, analyzing your tone, or replaying conversations in your mind, trying to figure out where you might have gone wrong. It's exhausting, isn't it? Constantly navigating a minefield that should feel like home. Have you ever caught yourself tensing up before bringing up an issue? Maybe you wanted to discuss something small, like how their habits affect you, a miscommunication, or even setting a boundary. But just the thought of how they might react, will they get defensive, dismiss your feelings, turn the conversation around and suddenly make you the one apologizing, makes your heart race. This isn't love, it's self-preservation. A healthy relationship doesn't feel like a courtroom where you're pleading your case just to avoid conflict. To bring this back to Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you'll find strength. Emotional safety begins with understanding that while you can't control how your partner reacts, you can control how you respond. If their behavior consistently disrupts your peace, ask yourself why you're allowing it to continue. A healthy relationship is one where you can express yourself without fear of judgment or ridicule. You should be able to show up as your true self, even in vulnerable moments. If you're suppressing your voice, your needs, or your boundaries just to keep the peace, you're trading your emotional health for temporary stability. That's not sustainable. Let's explore what this looks like day to day. Maybe you avoid asking for what you need, whether it's time, support, or affection, because it's easier than dealing with their response. Or perhaps you tiptoe around discussions about money, future plans, or past mistakes because you know those topics will lead to an argument. Over time, you internalize the idea that your feelings don't matter as much as theirs, and you learn to avoid conflict at all costs, even if it means betraying your own truth. But here's the truth. This isn't love. Love doesn't require you to shrink yourself, silence your thoughts, or avoid conflict to maintain peace. Real love holds space for difficult conversations, disagreements, and even hurt feelings because it's built on trust, not fear. So how do you change this dynamic? Start by taking an honest look at your relationship. Journal about recurring patterns. Ask yourself, are there certain topics you avoid because they always lead to conflict? Do you feel heard and valued when you express your feelings? Or do you feel dismissed? Are you constantly apologizing for things you shouldn't have to apologize for? Writing things down can be incredibly powerful. It helps you see the bigger picture. Patterns that once felt random or insignificant come into focus, and with clarity comes the ability to make better decisions. Next, try practicing open communication. This doesn't mean confronting your partner with anger or blame. It means approaching the conversation with curiosity and vulnerability. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel like I'm not being heard sometimes, and it's really important to me that we work on this together." Notice how the focus shifts from accusation to collaboration. Communication is a two-way street. If your partner is willing to meet you halfway, there's hope for growth. But if they respond with defensiveness, gaslighting, or hostility, it's a sign the relationship may not be as emotionally safe as it should be. Remember, your peace of mind is priceless. Stoic philosophy teaches us to prioritize our inner world above all else. No relationship, no matter how much history or potential it holds, is worth sacrificing your emotional well-being. If you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, it's time to ask a hard question. Are you staying because you're truly happy, or because you're afraid of what might happen if you leave? Choosing to address this dynamic or to walk away requires courage. But here's the good news. Every step you take toward protecting your peace brings you closer to the kind of relationship you deserve, one based on trust, respect, and the freedom to be yourself. After all, isn't that the kind of love you're worthy of?